Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce participated in 2 races recently, and you could almost say back-to-back, with just a couple of days separating those 2 100-meter races. Now, she finished those 2 races in pretty similar fashion. The first race saw her clock in a time of 10.82 seconds for first place, of course. Her second race was very, very close to that, where she clocked 10.83 seconds still for first place. Now, the first time of 10.82 seconds makes her the 4th fastest in the world this year. And after reviewing those 2 races, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Now, usually when it comes on to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, I'm not really worried about what she will do or what she's capable of doing, because she's just that athlete that comes out there to perform regardless of everything that is happening, and she's almost always going to pull something off, leaving us in awe, seeing that she's truly the female GOAT of the 100 meters. But this year particularly, I am not so much at that same place where Shelly-Ann is concerned. And that's for more than one reason. Now, evaluating her races, I would have seen where Fraser-Pryce did not get the type of start that she's known for. What I'm not sure about is whether or not that was intentional, because the truth is she's coming off an injury that had her out for most of the season. So I'm not sure if that was intentional or that's where she genuinely is at this moment. But personally, it's a little bit troubling for me. Now, I believe that with a couple more races, we'll be seeing some better times from her. But the second reason why I'm so worried about her this time is because of how dangerous the other athletes look, especially Shericka Jackson. Shericka Jackson is currently the fastest woman over the 100 meters so far this year, with a time of 10.65 seconds. And based on what we're seeing from Shericka Jackson, it is highly likely that she's only going to go faster than that 10.65 seconds. I'm truly convinced that Shericka Jackson is going to pull off something really spectacular this year. I think Stephen Francis and Paul Francis are doubling down on Shericka Jackson this year to push the limits to as far as they can go. And I am expecting some real fireworks from Shericka Jackson. She's running superbly so far as an athlete. Just looking at her, you can see that she's in top shape, top form. And yes, I know that she lost a couple of races, but as you would have heard before on this channel, that don't watch the races that the Jamaicans lose during the early parts of the season, especially the MVP track and field athletes. Don't worry too much about the races that they lose. So don't worry about Shericka's loss to Sha'Carri Richardson and most recently to Talu. When it comes on to the championships, we will be seeing a very different Shericka Jackson, of course. And I'm almost sure that she's going to break 10.65. Maybe we're going to see her running low 10.6 or possibly below 10.6. Mark my words. And that's the main reason why I'm so worried about Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce at this point of the season. Usually she would have looked so comfortable going into the championships. You could look at her face, you could read the post that she makes and get that type of vibe that she's ready and that she's going to go out there and pull something spectacular off. But right now, I'm still left to wonder, how much has she recovered? Is it that something is still there that is bothering her? Is it that she's not as well as we think, or maybe she's just being conservative right now? Because that could be the case, that she's running quite conservatively. As we all know, the races that are run prior to the championships are not the main focus for every athlete. Some athletes and their coaches are focused on the big championships, which if they do well at the big championships, then the big bucks are going to come in. They're going to make way more money than what they would have earned on the circuit before the championships. If an athlete pulls off something spectacular, the sponsors are going to come. More opportunities are going to come. The athletes will have to be paid more for appearance fees and all of these things. So some coaches' main focus is to get the athletes ready for these championships where we will say it matters the most. So probably with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, that's a situation right now where she would have been reflecting on where she's coming from this season, not being able to run for most of the season, and also still a little bit conscious of what caused her to be injured and to be out for so long. So maybe she's running with that in her mind that she's not going to push herself too much just yet. Maybe she's just doing enough to get by and to get in some races prior to the championships, because of course every athlete needs to race to get sharper for the big moments. So right now I'm particularly uncomfortable with what I'm seeing from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. And of course I'm not going to be like some other persons who are writing her off, because this is Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. She has been doing it for so long. She has been defying the odds so many years, coming up to this very moment. So I'm not going to be one of those who are writing her off, but I'm saying I'm hoping that we have not seen the best of her so far this year, because when you consider the idea that Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is probably in her last championships, which I think is her last championships based on announcements she has made so far, you would have liked to see her in her best shape or form, which would have given her the best possible opportunity to go out with a bang. You know, it would be good to see Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce closing this chapter of her life on a winning note and capturing a 6th title, which is unprecedented. It would be amazing to see her go out there and perform and end such an illustrious career at the World Championships in fine style and fashion. Now, reflecting quickly on Usain Bolt, he was expected to go out on a high, but unfortunately he got beaten into 3rd place. For one race he did not finish any at all. That was like an anticlimax to such a great career that no one else has ever seen before, and we really don't want to see Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce suffering the same fate at the World Championships. So I'm just hoping that we have not seen the best of her, and come Budapest we will see the Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce that we know. We will see the characteristics come out that we named her Mommy Rocket for. So I'm anxiously waiting to see what Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will pull off this time around. Can she make this great comeback, which probably would be one of the greatest in track and field? Now, I've never seen Shelly-Ann opening a season so late so far. So if she bounces back from just having just a few races under her belt and a knee injury to come and take this championship title, hands down, there's no one else that you could put in the bracket when you're talking about the GOAT, the female GOAT of the 100 meter. But personally though, I think if Shelly-Ann is going to be beaten this year, it's going to be Shericka Jackson who gets that job done. But by no means it will be a walk in the park. It's going to be a serious fight between Shelly-Ann, Shericka, Sha'Carri Richardson, Talo, and let's just throw Julian Alfred in that mix, who could be a spoiler. She's a fighter and she's a champion in her own right. So let's watch out and see how this one plays out. But you can just head into the comment section and tell me, what do you think about this whole scenario that surrounds Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce?